How many hours have I slept since taking the job? Probably a collective number of about 12. I didn't think about it too long or too hard. I didn't. I think if I had, I probably might have answered differently. I just thought, what do I need to do? That was the answer that I had. You know, when I was asked, "Will you take the job?" And immediately it was, "What do you need me to do? What does CSA need from me?" So it was quite a quick decision for me, actually. I had moments, and then I just saw the surge of social media support, and I knew in that moment that it was going to be okay, because this is a job, this is a servant's job, and it's about serving the people and the cricket fans. And if people are happy, if fans are happy, then half your job's done, more than half. Yeah, I know it sounds a little bit corny, and I can be quite corny, but that is how I see it. I see it as my national service. I'm extremely patriotic. South Africa means a lot to me, and cricket means a lot to me, so it's a no-brainer for me. I do see it. I wasn't athletically gifted, unfortunately, but I do have other gifts, and if CSA needs me to employ those gifts, then I must, and I will. My first cricket memory is probably in the backyard with my brothers, and them teaching me how to bowl and criticizing my technique. But that would probably be the first. I grew up with two older brothers, and just a cricket mad household. It's in our DNA, I guess. And there was always cricket in the home. We didn't have the latest bats and the newest bats, but my brothers made bats out of all kinds of materials. Didn't occur to me then that there was anything wrong with it. We just loved the game. And if there was cricket on TV, that was the whole family sitting and watching cricket for 5 days. So cricket's always been part of my life. And then Sundays went to the grounds. It wasn't quite a stadium, you know, back where I grew up. Went to the grounds to watch my brother play, and then I went to my first Benson and Hedges match at Kingsmead Stadium with my brother, and the bug really bit, because the electricity in the air was just palpable. No one can deny. I mean, just the atmosphere of that kind of environment. I knew I had to be part of this game. I didn't know what the future held, but I made a big career choice based on purely what I felt that night, that I was at the Benson and Hedges final. I grew up in an Indian township. My kids think it's insane that I went to an all-Indian school with all-Indian teachers. They think it's crazy. They don't quite understand how that would work, but that's the school I went to. I went to a public school. It was a poor school, but it was a good school. And this week I actually received a message from my matric teacher telling me how proud she was of me, and that was probably the first time I got emotional. First person I told were my children, my two daughters. I think from the inside it's a bit confusing for the staff, because the staff work incredibly hard, and we've had quite a successful year. And I think there's a little bit of confusion in that. Why isn't there a perception outside of actually how smooth it is inside? We've just had an unqualified audit that our finance team have gone through. We've just sold some incredibly important headline sponsorships. The company is doing well inside, and yet from the outside it seems chaotic. And my job is to bridge that gap, and to make South Africans see the good work, I guess, that is being going on. But I'm not going to hide away from the fact that those relationships that are fractured are part of the reason for the chaos. Inside the organization, though, things are not as chaotic as what one may think they are, with us being in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. it's a tough one, and my first job is just making sure the staff are okay. I can see how people think that. Tabang did appoint me. However, I am my own person, and while he did make the appointment, I think that it's probably not a fair judgment to make. I think people will always try and associate certain things together and put them together, but you know, I've gotten here to this point based on my experience and based on some solid work that has got me to this point. So I like to think that it's independent of Tabang, even though Tabang is the one that gave me the opportunity first through a fair process. So that is one of the most regrettable things I've had to go through. Having a media background myself, it wasn't something that I would have endorsed on any level. And so, no, I was not part of that. I was part of the healing process, I think, after that. I hope, I think the restoration, though, has a way to go. But I think that the whole relationship with the media suffered as a result, and we're still seeing the ramifications and feeling the ramifications of it till today. And a big part of my job is healing that. Healing all of our relationships with the media is a big one for us. It should never have happened. Recently, I've been looking to someone that has been in cricket, in the cricket circles, in world cricket for 23 years. A gentleman called Campbell Jameson, who used to be at the ICC and worked at the ICC for 23 years. And he's incredibly experienced. He has experience in World Federation, in cricket federations around the world, and Cricket Australia, which is significant for us because of the demographics and just our, the similarities between the two nations. So I've spent a lot of time with him over the last probably now about 4 or 5 months, and I find him incredibly knowledgeable, and he's one of my mentors. Other than that, I've got a couple of others who help me on other issues, sometimes just to check my thinking, just to give me some advice. I have a couple of those too that are personal. But Campbell, I have to say, is someone that is really, I've become close to Campbell in the last while. I think Graham and I have had to work on our relationship, but I think we are in a good place right now. I think Graham needs to understand that CSA is behind him, and I think he does understand that now. We've had some good conversations this last week even, and I think that his perception of cricket people needing to run cricket is something that is shared by a lot of cricketers. It's something that we can't just put on his doorstep. And my answer to that, I guess, would probably be that an element of that is right. You need cricket people. You need cricket people in some aspects. But Cricket South Africa is a non-profit company, which means that it is a company that needs to be run by business people. So from my perspective, I think you need a mix. You need a mix of cricket people, and you also need a mix of people with good corporate experience who is able to bring their expertise into the company to ensure that the cricketers can carry on doing what they need to do on the cricketing side, and bringing cricket to the kids, whether that be a child that is growing up on the dusty streets of a township, or whether that is in fact a child who's in a little bit more privileged area. I think our players, our ex-players, or ex-black players, from what I've heard, it's just an incredible amount of hurt. And where there's hurt, people just want to express their pain, and they want someone to listen to. I don't believe necessarily that they're after anything else. I think that they haven't had an opportunity to be heard. I think that they haven't had an opportunity to just express what they've gone through over the years. And I think we have to offer them that. at the very least, we can't save the world, we can't go back in time, but we can right now just offer an empathetic ear and just listen. And we can say sorry. We can say sorry for just what they went through. Just as human beings to human beings, we can just say sorry to them. I don't believe that they expect us to go back in time and put things right and change the career paths that they've been forcibly put off. In some ways they believe that. I just think that as with every other South African that's been a victim of racism and it's affected them in this way, I think it's just about being heard, and it's about having their pain expressed. Michelle Obama's quote, "When they go low, we go high," completely resonates with me. I think Michelle Obama, just as a human being, resonates with me. I think she's a phenomenal woman. But I think particularly as a female in this male-dominated role, that is frequently undermined as a result. I think that I've had to draw from that sentiment of Michelle Obama's, because it's not a case of me, eye for an eye, but it's a case of me rising above and actually just, for me, it's in the delivery. For me, it's in what I'm going to put on the table that maybe no man has been able to up to now. There's a element of empathy in a female-driven organization that one can't deny. So Black Day was an initiative that I started last year. It came to me as an idea of what we could do to use our voice as Cricket South Africa to address social ill that is beyond a social ill. It's a scourge that has taken over our society. Our numbers are 5 times higher than the global average. This kind of insanity is just something that has to stop. It has to stop in our time. And as Cricket South Africa, we have to be able to use the massive platform we have to raise awareness for this. So we decided to put together a need for an annual marquee event for the Proteas women, and put a good cause to it. We saw the amazing effects of Pink Day and what kind of effect that has on the nation. I mean, people just turn out in their droves. I mean, Pink Day tickets are sold out the day that it comes out, and I wanted to create that kind of vibe with Black Day, with Black Day. And I wanted to create that because I wanted to turn the spotlight to the South African man to say, you have to stop hurting our women. You have to be able to see what they're going through and look at it. And if you can look at it through something you love, which is cricket, then maybe if we save one life, then it's all worth it. So I was very disappointed when it was cancelled. Unfortunately, COVID-19 had other plans, and the Australian team didn't quite make it to our shores. But that doesn't mean that it's gone. It's very much on the cards for next season, and it's something that the Proteas women as well are really looking forward to. They're getting behind it in a big way, and I'm absolutely delighted for the representation that the team can give to this scourge. We've got to eradicate it somehow.